who might need support. Dr. Megan Houston, owner of Houston Behavioral Health, is joining us via Zoom to talk about what parents and school administrators should do in situations like these. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. So let's talk about what are some of the common things that we can anticipate students would experience after, even just hearing about a school shooting, or if they were there on Friday.
Well, students primarily fear for their own safety. To be honest, they often worry about returning to school and they become hypervigilant to potential threats. And some of them may even develop some separation anxiety from their parents, so they have all kinds of issues. Some of them might even have difficulty with some sleep. They may be uncomfortable in large crowds that they previously considered safe. But all of these reactions are actually quite normal responses to a trauma situation that need acknowledgement and support. And hopefully they will dissipate as time goes on and they feel more safe in their settings.
Yeah, so if your child is acting this way, if you're a grief counselor or a parent, what can they say to reassure a student who says they don't feel safe anymore? You've got to go to school. What is there anything you can say to sort of ease that anxiety?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first you want to start by validating their feelings, saying something like, I understand that you feel unsafe, and that's completely normal. They may need some specific information about enhanced security measures at the school, understanding what's going to happen to keep them safe. They also may need to, identify a trusted adult that they can turn to throughout the school day to talk about this with. Creating a simple safety plan is also a great way to help restore a sense of control. And we want to try and gently remind them as we support them that despite media coverage, that school violence remains statistically uncommon. This is not something that we see every single day.
Yeah, not every single day, but you know what? We see it every single school year. And I've got to expect that this is why kids with anxiety is on the rise. The U.S. Surgeon General has called parental anxiety a crisis. We've got to acknowledge that their fears are so valid. So what can parents do to help them just get through the rest of the school year?
Well, even to help them get through the school year, if they're having academic problems, schools really need to adjust what they're expecting from the students. Again, helping them to incorporate, safety planning, helping them to understand what they're doing to keep them safe is going to be a huge deal. At home, parents also need to talk about how they're feeling, if they're feeling unsafe, helping them to maintain some type of routine and some type of schedule in a distraction-free environment is also going to be helpful for them. But both parents and educators need to understand that this is going to impact their children. They're going to have difficulty with concentration initially, and hopefully, again, if we get them some support, it won't be as disruptive for them.
Dr. Houston, I have to be honest, as a mom with a child about to go into high school, I almost worry about the opposite end of the spectrum, or worry about both, where kids are getting desensitized to this. Seeing fights, hearing about the shootings every day. And while it might not be here every day it seems like we're hearing about a shooting somewhere or a fight somewhere at a school. I want you to talk about that quickly. I don't know if there's anything, the desensitization, but then also thinking everything's going to be fine. Everything's fine. No, I'm not going to get hurt. Creating that plan, that's a good reminder, because in the middle of all these things, we might forget to talk to your kids about thinking about what you might do in that situation.
Right, exactly. So again, talking about safety planning with them, and even with respect to desensitization, that's a real thing with respect to social media, what they see every day, which is why communication is so important to have with your children. It's not that we want to scare them and bring it up all the time, but we want to talk about the things that they're seeing, that they're hearing, so that you can understand as a parent what's going on and you're able to intervene and have these conversations with them. But we need to also talk to them about humanity and what's happening right now, and how these behaviors aren't normal, that this isn't okay, but that it is happening. And so again, we have to try and find this balance where we're able to converse with them and support them at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, so we've mentioned anxiety, we mentioned desensitization. Is it possible that a student would suffer from PTSD after a traumatic incident like this?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And what we want to look out for, again, right, we know the signs of PTSD include irritability, concentration problems. They may have physical complaints like stomach aches or headaches. They may avoid certain places. They're going to be hypervigilant. Yes. They may have a decline in academic performance. So absolutely PTSD is possible. However, again, these symptoms are quite normal, at least for the first 2 or 3 weeks following the incident. If you start to see these things occur or get worse after about the first 3 weeks or so, then we need to get some professional support. It's recommended because, yes, we're getting into the realm of PTSD.
All right. Always very good information. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Megan Houston. We appreciate you coming on this morning.
Thank you so much.